team culture mean to you?
Team culture is everything. Is kind of the basis of how your team operates, how your players interact with each other, how we perform. I think it's all based on our culture and what it is we want to represent.
So how would you say you attain or create a certain team culture?
Setting standards as the coach, it's my responsibility to make things a certain way and have to carry yourself a certain way, but we talk about your character and the way that you carry yourself on and off the floors kind of builds your culture. If you do things right, then your culture will be better.
Yeah. So how would you describe your specific team's culture?
Well, ours is about, what we're trying to do is just be as Christ-centered as possible. So we're trying to be character-driven, to do things right, and represent us the right way everywhere we go. And, if we do that, and we say character plus competency equals consistency. So your character plus your skill level together will make you good, and that's really what we're trying to attain.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say your role as the head coach is?
I think part of it is to cultivate leaders, try to help them be better. If we can make leaders that carry our culture, then it makes it easier within the team. I think it's just my job just to hold them accountable and make sure that they're doing what I want them to.
What is the role of the players individually in maintaining the team culture?
Yeah, if they don't take it if they don't take pride in it, then the culture starts to break, and if the culture starts to break, you don't play as good. So, it's each person's responsibility, and then it's the leaders of the team's responsibility to keep the individuals in check.
Mm-hmm. So going off of that, you mentioned the leaders on the team. Do you think it's important for the leadership on the team to align with the team culture, and how do they play a part in it?
Yeah, I don't think you can be a true team leader without aligning with the culture. So if you don't align with the culture and you try to lead, it usually doesn't work and it doesn't feel right. And then, that's when I usually need to step in and, make sure we're elevating the people that are doing it right to be the leaders.
Mm-hmm. So how do you go about picking the team leaders then in regards to your team's culture?
Part of it is just building relationships and knowing each person and knowing who can handle it, who can't, and then, trying to keep an eye on the ones that are doing it and praising them. And, you don't have to necessarily call them a leader, but you can praise them for leadership qualities, and then they naturally become leaders.
Yeah. So then what kind of things do you look for in players you're recruiting to facilitate your team's culture to bring in?
Part of it is just in your initial conversation. I like to try to make the kid talk a little bit more. I like to try to ask a hard question or something to see how they respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
If a kid doesn't want to talk or just says things like, I just want to play, or I just want to do this, usually it's probably not going to be a great fit. You want to ask about Christ's background and what the relationship is with the Lord, and especially here at Saginaw. Try to see if they'll be a good mission fit for us here, and then from there, hopefully you get some good word of mouth from their coaches or people that know them or things like that, so you can get some good references from them.
So do you find it's difficult to find good players who also fit in your team's culture sometimes?
I think it takes work.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just straight go off what you see, then it goes, you won't always get that. But if you do your due diligence, you might have to work a little bit harder. You might have to talk to a lot more people, but you can find them. It's just, you do the best you can to do as best you can, and then when you get on here, they either acclimate or they don't, but you try to do as best you can.
So have you seen that pay off, I guess, in your team, like really putting in that extra effort to find those players with good characters?
Yeah, for sure. You're not going to win championships without kids like that, and we won our conference tournament last year, and that happened because of the way we carried ourselves. And towards the end of the year, when adversity hit, we handled it really well. And so it's just, once you find a little bit of that, you want to build off of that, give those kids ownership, let them trickle that down to the rest of the team, and hopefully it'll work out.
And then I guess lastly, so how does God or missions or Christianity or things like that SAGU stands for, how does that, what is the role of that on your team?
Yeah, I think everybody on our team is in a little bit different place. I think this is true of any group. You get a big group together, everybody's not going to be exactly the same, but our goal is just to make sure that that's in the front of everything that we do, it's the first thing we talk about every day in practice. It's the last thing we do before we leave, is just make sure that's the centerpiece of it. And then within our players, as they start to grow in their relationship, let them have some ownership, make them get up and talk a little bit about it, make them share with each other, make them a little more vulnerable in our setting. If we do that stuff, then Christ will stay in the center of it all, and when he's in the center of it all, good things happen.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Of course.